Hey, all right. Oh, wow. Look at my hair. This is a good reason why you should look at yourself in the mirror before you start talking on recording. It's good to see everybody. Hey, Doc and I were just chatting because we were the only ones here for a few minutes. And I was like, well, we probably could have canceled the call since many people have holiday things going on today, but I'm glad we didn't because now you guys are all here. So happy Sunday. And if you celebrate Easter, happy Easter Sunday. And we're going to get right to it. But I wanted to do a quick reminder about mindset. So if you are participating in this round of mindset, be sure to attend the calls because that is where all the action happens. That is where you're going to get value. That's where you're going to have a conversation. And Doc just asked me a great question, which is like, because those calls are recorded, are they public? Is that recording public? And what happens is we actually put it on our YouTube, but it's a private link. So only people who have that link can see it. So I know mindset stuff tends to go deep. And so I just wanted to share that for everybody who had that question, that it's not public to be able, you'd have to share that link with someone for them to be able to see it. It's just shared internally for us. And I think that's it announcement wise. I wanted to I think tonight's topic, I wanted to make kind of practical. You guys are going to see that we're doing a spring clean out challenge in the Facebook group. This is another one of our like free games. It's designed for anybody to participate. Obviously, you guys as Fitme clients can participate in this. It's fun. It's, basically bingo, right? But if you have friends that you feel like would benefit from some of the Fitme magic and you feel like they would like to put their toe in the water with something like this challenge, invite them to participate. We'll have signups all week. And then next Sunday will be a kickoff call. And this one's particularly fun because there's prizes every single day. And so it's just a really cool one. Last year, it was definitely everybody's favorite. And then you get to clean out a bunch of crap from your house, from your subscriptions, from all the things. So spring clean out challenge, sign up start this week, invite friends. But I think that is the topic that I wanted to bring up for tonight is this idea of something that I would call nutrition adjacent. You're going to see this in an email from me later this week, but I wanted to bring this up because I think sometimes have you ever had a sore spot on your back? Maybe it's a knot or a little, a kink in your neck. And you want somebody to dig on it, right? You're like, just fix that spot, and someone goes in and they, maybe it's your partner, your friend, your spouse, your kid, maybe it's a massage therapist, and they're like digging in that spot. And you're like, oh, feels so bad, but it feels good, because they're right on that spot. It tends to not solve any problems in the long term, digging on the spot that is actually hurt. I learned this from either one of my favorite physical therapists or my favorite massage therapist, that you tend to need to go up or downstream to really address the problem. So if you have a kink right here, you actually probably need to get up here and maybe down here. And if you work on those things, then it tends to relax the spot, right? That's crazy or inflamed, but like digging into that spot might not actually solve any problems. And that lesson, I think, actually translates over into nutrition and exercise, because sometimes we just want to zero in right on that spot. Like nutrition is what I need to get better at. Nutrition. And we're like, why can't I stick to my nutrition changes? Like you check in with your coach and you're like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. And then you go to do it and you're like, why can't I do it? I'm digging on the spot. It's right in front of me. I know exactly where it hurts. I should be able to do this. I think that sometimes we need to go up and downstream, like similar to that muscle kink in our neck. And I like to call those things like nutrition adjacent. And there's a handful of things, and you guys will see these come up during the spring clean out challenge, that I feel like make a big difference for our nutrition choices that are actually not nutrition. One of those is our environment. And so having a fresh start in the morning when you wake up. So for example, in nutrition boot camp, we actually made one of the pieces of that game, getting all the dishes out of your sink. Why? Not because in boot camp you have to have everything clean, which you do, but that's not the reason. The reason is when you wake up to a clean sink, all of a sudden just feels like, okay, it's better. Like I can make a decent choice. As opposed to when you wake up and you're surrounded by clutter and mess and dirt and overwhelm, you're like, ugh, whatever, just grab something and go. Like it's next door to our choices. And so do you have to have everything perfectly clean all the time? No, that's not reasonable. But if you can figure out which thing, like from your kitchen, puts you in that good headspace, then do that. Maybe it's just one corner. Maybe it's just your coffee corner. Maybe you can just clear off that corner, wipe it down, have your coffee set up for the morning, your cup of water. That one spot is the place that feels fresh to you and good. And you wake up in the morning and there it is. That might be your spot, right? Your nutrition adjacent thing that you can focus on that helps you make better choices for breakfast. Another nutrition adjacent thing, and I would call this nutrition and exercise adjacent, is our clothes. In Fitme, we encourage people to wear what we would call happy clothes, or at best neutral clothes, but definitely not sad clothes. And the way that I would define sad clothes, it's the clothes that you put on and they don't fit well. You don't feel good in them. You don't even like them. And sometimes you don't put them on at all. You just look at them. You'll put them on, feel crappy, and then take them off and put them back in your closet. Because they don't feel good when you put them on. But what you just did is kind of like set your brain into this sad place. You didn't like how it looked. It didn't look good on you. It kind of stole some of your confidence, stole some of your joy. And instead, we just hang it back up on our closet, or we just force ourselves to wear it. And that's what I would call sad clothes. And so when we put on something that feels good, when we put on something that makes us feel confident, that is like a beautiful color that you feel like is super soft, that is like really nice, that you're like, I'm jazzed to wear this, all of a sudden we feel better. And what happens when we feel better? We move our body more. We're more willing to go to the gym. We're more willing to make better choices because we're actually putting our body in the uniform of like, I'm worthy of taking care of myself. So if you've ever put on a uniform for anything, like whether you are a nurse, a doctor, you've been in the military, you've been in something where you put on a uniform, even if you worked at Dairy Queen, you put on a uniform, like all of a sudden you become that person that's doing that thing. I know when I put on my jujitsu gi, I become a different person. I become the person doing jujitsu. A lot of people actually ask, is it weird rolling around with guys in jujitsu? Because it's very like grapply, wrestling. And I often say that putting on the uniform, putting on the gi completely changes things. Like the dynamic is different because you're wearing something that is like creating behaviors, that's creating a team, that is just the uniform of what you're doing. It's jujitsu. And so what you can't forget how powerful that is for yourself. When we put on sad clothes and we put on the uniform of like, meh, I don't feel good in my skin. I'm not really worthy of taking care of myself. And by the way, I'm not buying myself anything I feel good in until I reach my goal weight, which is what most people will say to themselves. Like, I'm not going to buy anything new until I have lost the weight or until whatever. Then we're wearing this uniform of being bummed out. And when we feel bummed out, we don't feel like we can go for that walk. We're not going to be motivated to drink our water or pay attention to our portion sizes, put together Fitme plates, go to the gym. It's like we've put on this uniform. And so sometimes I feel really lucky because I work from home and I feel like I get to put on the uniform of fitness, but I put on my workout pants. I often have like a sports bra, a workout shirt. I put on my shoes. I'm in my uniform of movement. I'm more likely to move. Even this morning, it was Sunday. I was wearing my sweatpants and I had sweatpants and a sweatshirt and my Crocs on. And then I put my Uggs on. And that right there is my recipe for sitting on my butt all day. If I kept on that uniform, I know exactly what I'm going to do. Nothing. And so I was like, you know what? I don't want today to be a nothing day. I do have some computer work to do, but let me go ahead and change my clothes. So I put on my leggings. I put on my real shoes. I was far more motivated to work at my standing desk, to do some chores around the house, to go outside, to get my workout in. Like it just changed me. This is healthy lifestyle adjacent. It's not like beating myself. I must go to the gym. What's wrong with me? It's like, let's go ahead and focus on this other thing that's like right next door, and it makes it easier. And so there's a lot of things like this that you're going to see as a part of the spring clean out challenge that you can talk with your coach about. I even think social media is a big part of this too. It's very much adjacent to our choices that we make, because when we are consuming things that make us feel like we're playing comparison, or that we were better in a different season, or that everybody else is doing it better than us, or that our life is sad and everyone else's life is happy, or making you feel like you should be a certain way, or that you should be a certain way by now, all of that sort of feedback can be quite demoralizing and have an impact on your behaviors, because our thoughts and our words become our actions, become our habits. And so if we're allowing our thoughts to be dominated by a lot of negative things from social media, or things that we're allowing to let us feel bad, then it will impact our words and our actions and our habits. It's just how it works. So one of the things that can be really, really helpful when you're making nutrition, exercise changes, healthy lifestyle changes, is to do a social media clean out. You're going to see it as a part of the bingo game, but it's not on accident. This is a real deal. Unfollow every account that like triggers that, like, I should be there by now, or, you know, these people say I should look like this, or this person always has something negative to say about my changes. You don't have to necessarily unfriend everybody, but maybe, you know, mute them. So both Facebook and Instagram allow you to mute people, so they don't even know that you've unfollowed them essentially, but you've muted them. So you're not going to see their posts. You're not going to see their stories. They can still see yours, but they're basically muted. That can be a really helpful strategy. And I think we take for granted how vulnerable we actually are. We are vulnerable to those inputs. And so I don't know if that's taking for granted that we're vulnerable, but it's more like assuming that we're not. We make the assumption that we're fine. We can just take all of this in. You can just scroll before bed and it's not impacting you. It is impacting you. And so we want to take in messages that encourage us, people that are motivating, people that are encouraging, something that's positive, or maybe nothing at all. You don't have to spend a lot of time searching for all this online. If it's not helpful, then just mute it all. So I just wanted to bring up this concept tonight, as you know, you guys see the promotion for the spring clean out challenge, which again is just a fun game for the Facebook group, that although it is fun, these things are for real. And as Fitme clients and a part of the Fitme family, we want you to know how important these actual, you know, nutrition, exercise, healthy lifestyle adjacent strategies are, and how powerful they can be to help you. Changing your clothes can be very impactful. Getting organized around just a couple of things in your kitchen can be incredibly clarifying for you when you wake up in the morning and you're like faced with choices, or you're running out the door. Having a little bit of organization, doesn't have to be perfect, can make a big difference. And then certainly just being aware of the messages that we take in and how they impact us can make a really big difference. And so I want you to talk about your coach this week. You know, what might be something that is like a nutrition or lifestyle adjacent for you that you think could be something that will help. Or maybe they have a suggestion for you, or just try one of the ones I said, like, don't overthink it. Try the dishes in the sink, try happy clothes, do a little social media clean out, and see if that doesn't help. And then obviously you can play bingo and we'll tackle a whole bunch in that. But with that, I wanted to open up for comments, feedback. What are your guys' thoughts on this concept? Any thoughts?
I'm going in the other room
Yeah,
to get away
okay.
from my daughter, because this is kind of a grown-up conversation right now. But like, hold on, let me turn on a light. I got myself cute pajamas, and it makes me more lovey towards my husband, because I feel cute in my pajamas instead of wearing like super slouchy pajamas. So when you were talking about, you know, clothes mindset and happy clothes and stuff, that's like, and they're not sexy or anything. They're just cute. They're just not like an old t-shirt and, you know, sweatpants. So
You feel good in them. I thought you weren't going to say slouchy. I thought you were going to say something else.
what did I say?
You said slouchy, but I thought you were going to say slutty, which that was really funny.
Nope, they're not even slutty.
But no, I think that's a great example of, it's not even about somebody else feeling a certain way. It's how you feel in them. It's you feel good, you feel cute and happy in them. And that changes, your interactions with other people. It changes what you want to feel like doing. I like it. That's a great example.
I think that the sad clothes situation is tricky. I think that one, hold on, sorry, there you go. I think that one sneaks up on you. Mm-hmm. Especially like, because I do work from home. It sneaks up on me sometimes where I'm like, holy smokes, I've legit been in like the same sweatpants because they were super comfortable for like a couple days, because I'm just like, oh, gotta go. And then I'm like, these don't even fit right. I don't know. It's just like, that one's sneaky. And I think another thing that like hits right sometimes, I'm not a big makeup person, but I think every once in a while, like when I'm trying to get my shit together for the day, or just like trying to like break out of the sweatpants for a few days situation, like getting up, getting dressed, doing my hair and my makeup, like totally switches things around for me, because I used to do that every single day when I, worked at, well, I didn't do makeup, but when I worked at the hospital, like you said, I had a uniform, right? And I don't know, there's something about like face on that's like, all right, I got this. I don't know, it switches it up.
I think it's different for everybody. And I think one thing that I would add to this is that it doesn't have to be a complete overhaul. Oftentimes you can just make a 1% incremental change in one of these categories and it matters. So for example, just my house being organized matters to me. Why are you laughing, Molly? What's a 1%?
I was like put on clean sweatpants. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean it.
Okay, I
mean it.
you.
So sometimes I walk around my house and it feels too overwhelming, and I just play 1%. I'll pick up one of Georgia's socks and be like, all right, 1% better. 1% better. But it's like, I recognize that the clutter or the mess in my house is impacting how I feel. And again, like all of that impacts our choices. And so it's like 1% matters too, right? Like maybe it's not putting on a full face. Maybe it's just like fresh chapstick. Brush your teeth and put some chapstick on. Maybe you feel a little better. It can be a small thing. But again, just recognizing that you're taking an actual action is why it's powerful. And so when you are just saying like, hey, I'm putting on fresh sweatpants, that is an intentional, deliberate choice to say like, just feel like being fresh, like, and I want to feel good today in these sweatpants that smell good. It doesn't have to be, something epic. And I think sometimes, just like everything else, we feel too overwhelmed to even start or to try. And so don't walk away from this thinking, well, yeah, but I don't want to clean out my whole closet. Like that would be terrible. Like that would take me a year, or I can't clean my kitchen. I'm not a clean kitchen person. I'm buried by it. Or I'm so overwhelmed by social media, I wouldn't even know where to start. Guess what? You start with just one. Take one piece of sad clothes out of your closet and get rid of it. Give it away. That one little thing, again, is a choice that you're intentionally taking on behalf of yourself, and it'll start to feel good. And then if you want to take another one, great. So it does not have to be a complete overhaul. Raquel said 1% was me buying new clothes. My next 1% is getting rid of the old ones. I hold on to them like a security blanket. You and Natika should chat, because she held on to her old clothes like a security blanket for a long time too. And it took her a minute to get rid of them.
When Natika got rid of her old clothes, she found like $500 in like cash and gift cards in her drawers. It was amazing. And she because I remember talking about it on the Marco Polo group, and she had like bags and bags and bags. She emptied everything out on her bed and found like $500. So you never know, Raquel, you might be rich tomorrow.
Yeah, you might find some money. That's a good reminder. If you're going to get rid of old clothes, check those pockets. you never know what you can find in there. But I like that, Raquel. Like, again, you do you. It might be step one is like getting the happy clothes, or one thing, maybe like, I don't really have money I spend on happy clothes. It's okay. You can be creative here. Like, it could be a swap, it could be a friends thing, it could be like some, again, it just might be something very small. There's great dupes on Amazon in the fitness category now, where like you used to have to buy them like really expensive stores, and now Amazon carries like almost identical versions of everything. And they're very affordable. And so if you're looking for like, I need a new workout gear, thing, check Amazon. They've got a lot of great choices, in really high quality. Well, sweet guys, I'm glad you guys came. This is a much more fun discussion to have together. I hope you all have a wonderful evening. Your target this week is to, again, have this conversation. What is, nutrition, exercise, lifestyle adjacent for you? Pick one thing and do it this week. And again, if you want to do bingo, that's coming up the following week, but this is your target regardless. And now you're going to have a much deeper understanding of how powerful this is for you, and continue to have it be something you utilize as a tool with your coach. Cool. All right, guys, have a great week. I'll talk to you later. Bye.